This conference will now be recorded.
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् रागादिरोगान् सततानुषक्तान् अशेषकायप्रसृतान् अशेषान् औत्सुक्यमोहारदिदान् जघान यो पूर्ववैद्याय नमोऽस्तु तस्मै. In our last session, we were to discuss about the Aushadha Kalam with a little bit of elaboration. Am I audible to everybody? Still messages are coming that not able to hear. Am I audible now? Those who have put the message, yes, fine. Okay. Thank you. We will continue. So we were discussing about the Aushadha Kala in our last session. The sloga which is shown already on the screen tells the story briefly. So we will read out that part first and then go to some of the relevant parts, some of the relevant areas from Ashtanga Sangraha. Kabhodrege gadenannam balino rogaroginoh annadau vigune pane samane madhya ishyade व्यानेन्दे प्रादराशस्य सायमाशस्य तूत्तरे ग्रासग्रासान्दयोः प्राणे प्रदुष्टे मादरिष्वनि मुहुर्मुहुर्विषच्छर्दि हिध्मातृश्वासकाशिषु योज्यं सभोज्यं भैषज्यं भोज्यैश्चित्रैररोचके कम्बाक्षे बगहिध्मासु सामुद्गं लघुभोजिनाम् ऊर्ध्वजत्रुविकारेषु स्वप्नकाले प्रशस्यते. That is what we have seen so far. Now I am switching over to Ashtanga Sangraham. In Bheshajavacharniyam, first part I have already read out the other day. So I don't know whether you are having Ashtanga Sangraham with you. Those having Ashtanga Sangraham may take the Bheshajavacharniyam chapter in Sutrasthanam. Those who are having no text with you, no problem, just close your eyes and listen. I think that is the best way than having text with you. I will read out for you. Aduravasthasu tu kalaha kalasapnyaha. Aduravasthasu tu kalaha kalasapnyaha. So what we call as kalam in this context is the kala in Aduravastha. Kala is one part, one bit in which you are going to observe the Vyadhi. So that particular moment, that particular piece in the entire story of the event, that particular bit is known as Kala. So that Kala is a kalam. That Kala is a kalam. And that kalam is known as Vyadhyavastha. We have already discussed that Vaidya is many a times described by many types of designated positions. And one among such designated position is Vyadhyavastha Vibhagatnyaha. We have already seen it. Vyadhyavastha Vibhagatnyaha Pashyannarthan Pratikshanam. The different synonyms or the sort of degrees attributed to the Vaidya shows his capacity of various sort, of which, as far as the Chikitsa Vritti is concerned, I would say that this designation, Vyadhyavastha Vibhagajnaha, stands alone, something like in a very towering height, because of it reflects the very stuff of the Vaidya in understanding the Vyadhi. So here you are entering into the scene of the flow of a Vyadhi, and the point of entry is a Kala. So whenever you are seeing the disease, it is a point of entry and it is a Kala. Then he is continuing. Tadyatha. This part actually we read out the other day, but still we will continue because this is an avartana. Avartano abhyasaha. Whenever you are supposed to do some sort of an abhyasa, master one particular area, you have to repeat it many a times. So reading out the same portion many a times is a part of abhyasa. Tadyatha asyam avasthayam asya aushadhasya kalaha akalo va. Tadyatha, what you are going to look, that is important. What you are going to look is asyam avasthayam asya aushadhasya kalaha akalo va. So this is your interest. When you are entering into the scene of a Vyadhi with the intention of administering one treatment, one intervention, your interest primarily is whether the particular intervention that I am going to make suits to the particular situation, suits to the particular kala, which is known as kala. This is very important. Why? Because na hi aprapta kalam aushadham yaugigam bhavati. Na hi aprapta kalam aushadham yaugigam bhavati. Aushadham na yaugigam bhavati. Yaugigam, something which suits, related to the word yoga. Yaugigam. Na yaugigam does not suit. Na yaugigam bhavati. It does not suit where to the situation. Why? Because two reasons. Number one, it is aprapta kalam. The time has not come for this intervention. The time has not come for this particular intervention. Number two, adita kalam. Adita kalam means the time for this particular intervention is already over. It is already over. So in both situations, either that time has not come or the time already gone, means at particular point of entry which you are going to make, it is not the right time. It is not the right time. So understanding precisely about the time of intervention, its vyadhyavastha, all these things are of utmost importance as far as precision prescription is concerned. You will be prescribing something, whether you know the condition, whether you do not know the condition, it doesn't matter. You will come up with a prescription that everybody knows, but a prescription and a precision prescription are entirely different. So here you are looking for an ideal prescription. So these things are important. Then he is explaining, he is continuing, tasya tu egadashadha avacharanam. Tasya tu egadashadha avacharanam. We can have, or you can have 11 types. Egadashadha avacharanam. Avacharanam, that intervening intervention. Tadyatha abhaktam, pragbhaktam, madhyabhaktam, adhobhaktam, sabhaktam, andarabhaktam, samudgam, muhurmuhu, sagrasam, grasandaram, निशि च तद्यथा अभक्तं प्राग्भक्तं मध्यभक्तं अधोभक्तं सभक्तं अन्तराभक्तं सामुद्गं मुहुर्मुहुः सग्रासं ग्रासान्तरं निशि च. So this is the 11 types of kalam what you are supposed to make use of in your intervention. Most of these names we have met with in Ashtanga Hridayam. One is extra, one we have not seen in Ashtanga Hridayam. And again, the description what we see in Ashtanga Hridayam is so brief, whereas Ashtanga Sangraha tries to elaborate the point a bit more so that you can have a wider understanding of the application. We will see it. Tatra abhaktam nama, this is the first aushadhakala. Tatra abhaktam, anannam, that is the word what we have seen in Ashtanga Hridaya. Abhaktam nama kevalam aushadham. Kevalam aushadham. Kevalam, not associated with anything else. That is why it is known as kevalam. Here the context is it is not related with any of the annam, any of the aharam. So here kevalam aushadham nirannobayogad adiviryam. Nirannobayogad adiviryam. Nirannam ubayogam. Nirannam, without any annam, any association with annam is not there. Nirannam. Nirannobayogad adiviryam. So this abhakta aushadha prayogam is adiviryavad. Then it continues. Kabhodrega vimuktamashaya srotaha. Kabhodrega vimuktamashaya srotaha. The words are how it is to be applied, when it is to be applied. This abhakta aushadham. Kabhodrega vimuktam. Kabhodregam, udregam of kabha. Udregam, adhikyam. Kabhodregam, kabhadhikyam. Kabhodrega vimuktam, devoid of kabhodregam, were in amashaya and srota, or in amashaya srota. So when the amashaya and amashaya srotas are in a state of kabhodrega vimuktam, so if you have to apply abhakta aushadham, the kabhodrega that can be there in the amashaya and amashaya srotas should have subsided. Otherwise it is not going to work. So come back to our earlier line, vyadhyavastha vibhagatnyaha. So you should have the understanding of the status of amashaya and the status of amashaya srota. How will have this amashaya srota status? By pariksha, by repeated examinations, by repeated understanding, by examinations. You should be in a position where by getting various ideas, various inputs from the patient's side, you should have some understanding about his status of amashaya. So kabhodrega vimukta amashaya srotaha prataha, ideally in the morning, pratah kale, balavan upayunjita. So the patient should have the strength for what? If he is strong, if there is sufficient strength, he need not be a patient, he need not be a rogi. We are going to give that medicine for a rogi, not for a swastha. So this balavan does not mean swastha, because medicine is not for him. So this balavan means It is an apekshika balavan. Apekshika balavan in the sense not like a swastha, but in terms of his capacity to tolerate the aushadha viryam. This is adiviryam. This abhakta prayogam is adiviryam. So he should have sufficient strength to tolerate the medicine which is adiviryam. So kabhodrega vimuktamashaya srotah pratah balavan upayunjita. This is the most important criterion whenever you are giving abhaktam aushadham. This is practically very relevant because we tend to stick to certain standard prescribing procedures or standard prescribing practices. Like whenever you are giving a medicine, you tend to give it something like once in the morning, once in the evening. I have seen many prescriptions where a standard format of prescribing is followed unconditionally, like prescribing a kashayam, then immediately putting the times in a very solid, in an uncompromising manner as 6 a.m., 6 p.m. One kashayam, 6 a.m., 6 p.m. This is not at all right. This is not at all right because you have to consider many things. Number one, whether this is to be given in empty stomach or not. You are giving it is 6 a.m. So if the patient is, what is your intention? Your intention is to give this in abhakta aushadha kala. If it is abhakta aushadha kala, if you write a prescription like 6 a.m., if the patient is used to have his breakfast by 5:45 due to some circumstantial influences, like he may be going for an early morning shift in a company where he has to leave his home by 6, so he is having a light breakfast at 5:45, and as per your prescription he has to take the first medicine at 6 a.m. Your intention will not be met. Your intention will not be ideally satisfied here. You could have thought that, okay, this patient will be taking it in abhakta kala. So that should not be the case. Number two, when you are making an outright prescription like 6 a.m., 6 p.m., you are not looking into the bala of the rogi. You're just standardizing the prescription. Standardization has become a buzzword these days. Standardize everything, standardize everything. You can standardize the way in which you are making medicine. You can standardize the vessel in which you are measuring the kashayam or whatever medicine. But unfortunately, or otherwise, you cannot standardize the rogi. Rogi is very unique. You are not supposed to standardize the rogi. So these sort of prescriptions should not come. Again, 6 a.m. 6 a.m. is a time where which is by nature a time of kabhodrega. So amashaya is not that kabhodrega vimukta amashaya srotah. That status has not come. So if your intention is to give it in abhakta aushadha kala, you are not preparing the patient properly. You have to wait, at least in terms of the diurnal variations that can happen in the dosha status. The first third of the day is obviously kapha predominant. So you should have assessed it. Sometimes by default, the diurnal changes could be that the first third is kaphodrega. But the interesting thing is, by repeated practice, by repeated conditioning, this status may change. As we see the Aushadha Kala and Anna Kala in the textbooks, in our classics, the Anna Kala was different. We were taking 2 meals a day at that time. whereas we are taking 6 meals a day sometimes these days, minimum 3 meals and 2 snacks, so 5. So the way in which Agni is going to perform these days, and the Agni was supposed to perform during the days of these classics, are different. And life is more conditioned, more nurtured than what it is by nature. Previously, the Surya, Chandra, and Anila, they were the deciding factors as far as human life is concerned. But now, post Edison era, I mean the post era in after the invention of electric bulb, entire things have changed. We have a better grip over what is happening in the day and the night, so we have changed accordingly. So you should have a better understanding about the Agni, taking leads from what is explained in the classics. It should not be just as per what is told. So all these things are to be taken care of before prescribing one medicine, especially in terms of the Aushadha Kala. Ideally, that is the condition where Abhakta is to be given. So the concept is important. The concept is important. You can forget about the lines, doesn't matter. But what is meant when it is told that it should be given in Amashe, Kabhodrega Vimukta Amashe Srodha. Whatever the situation is, Abhakta Aushadha should not be given in a condition where this is not attained, this Kabhodrega Vimukta Amashe Srodha. So the prataha can be taken as a technical term. There are certain definitions for which is prataha, which is aparana, which is purvana, all these things. But here the concept is important, not the word. So balavan is very crucial. When you are prescribing a medicine outright for 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., we can see that many patients complain some sort of a severe fatigue, some severe type of exhaustion, because the patient is not balavan. Again, you are giving preserved kashayams, where the sodium benzoate, some other chemical preservatives are adding to the strength of the kashayam either positively or negatively, which is not mentioned in the classical yoga. When you say that Guluji Patmagarishta Dhanaga Rakta Chandanam Pitta Shleshma Jara Chardi Daha Trishnaganam Agnikrit, it has incorporated only the medicines Guduji, Patmaga, Arishta, Dhanaga, Rakta Chandanam, not the certain percentage of sodium benzoate which you are going to add in it. So ideally Guduchiyadi Kashayam contains 5 ingredients, but the one which you are getting contains 6 or 7 ingredients. So that 2 separate ingredients which is added late, they are going to change the potency of the medicine. This is not the classical Guluchiyadi what you are supposed to use. So this factor should be taken into consideration while deciding the Aushadha Kala, because it has changed the potency, the bala of the Aushadha. So the bala of the Rogi should be considered very seriously. So these are the practical issues what we are going when we are entering going to see in real clinical practice. Then he is continuing, idara pragbhaktadigam अन्न संसर्गेण हि न अधिग्लानिकरं भवति. इतर प्राग्भक्तादिकम् औषधम् अन्न संसर्गेण. So all the rest except this abhaktam, all the rest are going to have some sort of an anna samsarga. So they are going to be to be that glanikaram. So the word used is glanikaram. So if the Rogi is not Balavan, Abhaktam is going to cause Glani. All the rest are not going to be that Glanikaram. Now he is continuing with the rest of the Aushadha Kalas. Pragbhaktam. Pragbhaktam Nama Yad Anandara Bhaktam. Pragbhaktam Nama Yad Anandara Bhaktam. That means you will be giving medicine followed by food. Anandara Bhaktam. Tad, now its specific indications are explained. Tad Apananila Vikritau Athakayasya cha Baladhanartham Tadgadeshu cha Vyadhishu Prashamanaya Krishikaranartham cha Yojyam. See, the indications are very much elaborate. Earlier in Ashtanga Hridaya, we just saw that Annadau Vigune Pane, over. Annadau Vigune Pane. But here, that Vigunapanada is explained obviously, but many other things are indicated. Tad Apananila Vikridau, over. Then Athakayasya Baladhanartham. Athakayasya Baladhanartham. Then Tadgadeshu Vyadhishu Prashamanaya cha. Tadgadeshu means Adhakaya Gadeshu. Adhakaya Gadeshu Vyadhishu Prashamanaya cha. Then Krishikaranartham cha. If you are treating a Sandarpanotha Vyadhi and your intention to the core is to bring about Krishikaranam, Karsyakaranam, Apatarpanam, this could be an ideal Aushadhakala. Krishikaranartham cha yojyam. So the indications are little bit elaborate. Then the next, Madhya Bhaktam. Madhya Bhaktam, Madhye Bhaktasya. Bhaktasya Madhye. So you are going to give the medicine Madhye Bhaktasya. Halfway through the meal. Halfway through the meal. Where Tad Samananila Vikritau. Samane Madhyaishyade, that we have seen in Ashtanga Hridaya. Samananila Vikritau. Then extra additional inputs. Koshtagadeshu cha Vyadhishu Paitigeshu. Koshtagadeshu cha Vyadhishu Paitigeshu. Koshtagadeshu Paitigeshu Vyadhishu cha Madhya Bhaktam Aushadhakalam Ishyate. In the Koshta, actually it is a complex situation. You have Pitta, which is becoming Agni when it is associated with Samana Vayu and Kledaka Kapha. So you have to consider the Pitta, you have to consider Agni, you have to consider Vayu, you have to consider Shleshma. Pitta is the real battlefield where all the three doshas along with Agni can engage in the show of Samprapti. So it is a complex war field or battlefield. You have to be very tactful in addressing the situation. So Samane Madhya Ishyade just makes you some sort of gives a bird's eye view or something like that only. Samane Madhya Ishyade. Only criterion highlighted is in Samana Vayu Vikriti you give Madhya Bhaktam. Whereas in Sangraha he is giving Koshtagadeshu Paitigeshu Vyadhishu. Interestingly, Samana Vayu is a close associate of Pajaka Pitta. So Samana Vayu Pajaka Pitta association gives you some sort of a good understanding about Agni. Only missing factor could be Kledaka Kapha. Now here specifically Koshtagadeshu Paitigeshu Vyadhishu. Oh, very good that now our screens is having that corresponding portion of the Ashtanga Sangraha. Thank you Vaidya Nilesh for that. Now Pitta Jgada Vyadhis in Koshta can be of many types. One could be, as ideally we can understand, Agni Mandam, where the Tikshnadi gunas of the Pitta is low in their potency. Agni is mandam. Another is Agni is mandam, where the support from the samana is minimal. Support from the samana is minimal. Agni is becoming mandam. A third situation, Agni is mandam, where the presence of Kledaka Kapha is overwhelmingly suppressing the Agni. The presence of Kledaka Kapha is overwhelmingly suppressing the Agni. Agni is mandam. So now we have three situations. Then sometimes Agni Dushti can happen. Tikshnadi factors are in excess with the support of Samana Vayu. With the support of Samana Vayu. Then you are getting Atyagni, which may become Bhasmaga type of disease. Then Tikshnadi factors of Pitta is high. Vayu is supporting. Kledaka Kapha is Kshina. Then it is becoming a more grave situation of Atyagni Bhasmaga type of thing. Then another situation, Tikshnadi factors of all the factors of Pitta is high, including Dravata, including the Drava guna of Pitta. Then you are going to get a different situation wherein the Agni is losing its capacity to bring about Pachana of the Ahara. Instead, it is going to become something like a fire liquid, Agni Dravakam, and it is going to cause Pachana of the Koshta itself. Instead of bringing about Pachana of Anna, it is going to do the Pachana of the Koshta itself. And when that Agni Dravaka is supported by a Pratiloma Vayu, which may be starting from the Koshta Apanasthana, Apana will be pushing upward itself, then it will be pushing upward Samana Vayu. This Samana Vayu will be pushing up this sort of a Dushta Pitta in terms of Sadravata, causing push of this Agni Dravaka into the Annavaha Srotas, causing a series of symptoms which may include Koshtadaha, Hriddaha, and many symptoms which can reach up to the oral cavity. So in all these situations, you should have some sort of a basic understanding what is happening. As I mentioned earlier in one of our previous sessions, when you have got this sort of a situation and the patient has already failed himself by repeatedly visiting different gastroenterologists and trying different brands of proton pump inhibitors, you are not supposed to just go for a medicine just in terms of an Ayurvedic alternative for PPIs, but you have to understand the situation properly and decide the Aushadha Kalam accordingly. Koshtagadeshu cha vyadhishu paitigeshu. So one simple option could be, I don't make an equation here, but a possible solution could be selecting the proper medicine and giving it in the proper time. The proper medicine becomes beneficial when it is given in the proper time. Fine. Now we will go for the next Aushadha Kala, Adhobhaktam, as explained in Sangraham. Adhobhaktam nama bhaktad anandaram. Bhaktad anandaram. After the food, the medicine is given. First food, then medicine. Tadatu vyana vigridau pradarashandam udana vigridau punaha sayamashandam. Tadatu vyana vigridau. So when you are giving the medicine after the food, your target is becoming the upper part of your Andaradhi, your upper part of the Andaradhi. So here that means above the Hridaya Sthana, or on and above the Hridaya Sthana. So you have two Vayus primarily, Vyana and Udana. So we are splitting it into two, maybe for multiple reasons which we have to discuss in elaborate, and only Anumana is possible. Tattu Vyana Vigridau Pradarashandam Ande Andam of Pradarasha, morning food. Udana Vigridau tu Punaha Sayamashandam Ande of Sayashanam, evening food. Then next possibilities, Purvakayasya cha Baladhanartham, Previously we have seen that when you are giving it as Pragbhaktam, Adhakayasya Baladhanartham. Here Purvakayasya Baladhanartham. Then Tadgadeshu cha Vyadhishu Shlaishmigeshu Prashamaya. Tadgadeshu Vyadhishu cha Shlaishmigeshu. This is predominantly a Shleshmasthana. So Tadgadeshu Shlaishmigeshu Vyadhishu Prashamanaya. So a medicine after food is going to give its action more on the Purvakaya. So two Vayus which are involved can be manipulated with that, Vyana and Udana, and in general the Shlaishmiga Vyadhis of that area can also be addressed. So when there is Kabha Vruddhi in the Uras causing Rodha of Vayu, resulting in the manifestation of various types of Shwasa Rogas, your option should be to give the medicine after food, because here the primary target is to get the Kabha under control, and once the Kabha is under control, you can release the Srotas of the Vayu, making the Pranavaha Srotas functioning normally. So there, I think many a times the classical way of prescribing 6 a.m. 6 p.m. need not work. Will not work. You have to make improvisations accordingly. So Tadgadeshu Vyathishu cha Shlaishmigeshu Prashamanaya. Then next, Sthuliikaranartham cha. So from these 2 points, Pragbhaktam was used for Krishikaranartham. Athakaya Vikareshu. Athakaya is basically Vadasthana. So in a distorted Vayu of the Athakaya, you are going to give medicine in the Pragbhakta, and interestingly it is going to take control over the Vayu in the Athakaya. And when the Vayu in the Athakaya, I am reading in between the lines, when the Vayu in the Athakaya is working properly, it has got the capacity to regulate Kapha indirectly. When the Vayu in the Athakaya is working properly, it has got the capacity to regulate the Shleshma in the entire body. That is why that Aushadhakala is specifically advised for Krishikaranartham. We should see the beauty. It is for Krishikaranartham. Similarly, here we are giving Adho-bhakta Aushadham. Adho-bhakta Aushadham is excellent in Shlaishmigeshu Vyadhishu of the Purvakaya, which is a Kabhasthana. So it has got the capacity to make the Shleshma in its base seat normal. In the Uras, it puts the Kabha in its seat in Shama. And interestingly, when we read in between the lines, we should get the idea that when your shleshma in the uras is normal, it can regulate the vayu in the entire body. So you can control the vayu indirectly by putting the shleshma in the uras properly, and that is going to bring about brahmana. That is going to bring about not unwanted brahmana, not sthaulya. So here it is indicated that tadgadeshu vyadhishu cha shlaishmigeshu cha prashamaya sthuliikaranaya cha sthuliikaranartham cha. So in the management of sthaulya, that means a santarpanajanya vyadhi, you have to look for the status of vayu in the pakvashaya. If the vayu in the pakvashaya is not proper, you cannot bring about apatarpana in a sthula just by giving manipulations of shleshmaharana. Similarly, in a krisha who is sandarpanarha, you cannot win over the situation just by giving brahmanaushadha, but also by putting the shleshma in the uras normal. See how interconnected the entire pictures are. Now, next is sabhaktam. Sabhaktam yad annena samam sadhidam paschadva samalolitam. Samabhaktam yad annena samam sadhidam paschadva samalolidam. In the text which you are seeing in the screen, that paschadva is missing, only dva is there. No problem. Paschadva samalolidam. Tad baleshu sukumareshu aushadhadveshishu arujau sarvangageshu cha rogeshu. Sabhaktam yad annena samam sadhidam. Either you can prepare the medicine while you prepare the annam, annena samam sadhidam, or paschadva samalodidam, or which you mix with the annam after preparing it. So in the first one, it is an aushadha samskrita by default. In the second, it is aushadha mishrida secondarily. Equally good, but you have to understand which one will be better. When you see this va, literally it means they are interchangeable, but practically they need not be interchangeable. There will be precise indication for each. Which one is to be prepared along with the preparation of the food, which one is to be prepared as mixed after the preparation of the food. All these things are to be seriously looked into. Then where is this indicated? Tad baleshu sukumareshu aushadhadveshishu arujau. These are all connected. Baleshu, when you are trying to give the medicine for a child, you need not succeed in giving the medicine directly because of their bad palatability. Then you try this way. You may make a samosa where this medicine is also put in the stuff, or you may make something which is palatable where this medicine is also added as part of the ingredient, maybe as part of while preparing this the batter for making this recipe, you add the medicine. So baleshu, sukumareshu, sukumara, everybody knows who is a sukumara, who is not at all tolerating any sort of tough situations, whatever it is, whether it is ahara, vihara, or whatever it is. He is not ready to tolerate any sort of a difficult situation. So in sukumareshu, Aushadhadveshishu, where we are treating somebody who hates all sorts of medicine. So in many situations, okay, you can avoid prescribing, but there may be many other situations where the as explained in Ashtanga Sangraha, sometimes you may be asked to prescribe for a king, for a ruler. So then if that patient is not willing to take medicines having bad taste, then you'll have to look for alternatives, which is explained in the next lines. We will find it later. So Aushadhadveshishu. Aruchau. In the situation called Arochaka, the patient hates even food. So you cannot give medicine separately. So you have to prepare that food which can be tolerated by the patient, and the medicine should be comfortably added into that food. Then next line is important. Sarvangageshu cha rogeshu. When you are treating a Sarvangaga roga, this is the best way, because here when you are adding the medicine to the food, you are getting a direct entry to the Rasavahasrodas more easily, and the Vyapti of the Rasavahasrodas is much extensively covering the whole body. So in Sarvangageshu Rogeshu, your option could be to give the medicine Sabhaktam. Then next is Andarabhaktam. Andarabhaktam yad Purvanhe Bhakte Jirne Madhyanne Bheshajam Upayujyade Tasmimscha Jirne Punaha Abaranhe Bhojanam. Andarabhaktam yad Purvanhe Bhakte Jirne Madhyanne Bheshajam Upayujyade Tasmimscha Jirne Punaha Aparanhe Bhojanam. So you are giving the food in the morning, then wait for that food to get properly pakwa, then madhyanne you are giving medicine bheshajam, then wait for the aushadhapagam, then aparanhe in the evening bhojanam. So standard annakalas are two, purvanna bhojanam and aparanna bhojanam. So ideally in a healthy person, if he has taken a purvanna bhojanam, next annakala comes in the aparanna only. So here you are expecting a third gap, a third time for the aushadha, that is in the madhyanam. So accordingly you have to adjust the quantity of the purvanna bhojanam. Otherwise, when it is the standard, you cannot expect to get an aushadhakala in the madhyanam. So that is some improvisation, and this is improvised according to two annakalas. When you are living, as I told earlier, in a time where you have three standard annakalas and two snack kalas, you have to again think about how to make use of this Andara Bhakta Aushadha Kala properly and effectively. So this is Andara Bhaktam, and its specific indications are Etena Ratrir Vyakhyada. So in the night also this can be done. Give the Aparanna Ahara, then wait for the Aparanna Bhojana to digest, and by midnight you give the medicine, then wait for this midnight medicine to digest, then give the Purvanna Bhojana. Then where it is given, Tad Deeptagnehe Vyanajeshu Amayeshu. Tad Deeptagnehe Vyanajeshu Ameshu. This is a very special situation. Deeptagnehe, that is what we were discussing. In the standard case, morning you give food, it will be digested by the evening only. The only two annakalas. Body is conditioned in such a way. But in Deeptagni, you can have the liberty of getting a annakala in between the madhyana, and that will be used for aushadha. Tad Deeptagnehe Vyanajeshu amayeshu. So wherever you are precisely diagnosing a situation as this is Vyanakobajanyam. So you have to just keep in mind the extent of Vyana pravritti. Krishnadehachari Mahajavaha Gati Apakshepana Ulkshepa Nimesha Unmeshanatikaha Praya Sarva Kriyaha Tasmin Pradibatthaha. So it shows more of a gross motor activities which are many a times having voluntary control over them. So in the problems of such situations, you can opt for this Andara Bhakta Aushadha Kalam. I thought that we will cover the entire Aushadha Kala in today's lecture, but unfortunately, I think we have halfway yet to go through the Aushadha Kala. But it is already 8:30 and we'll have to go for maybe another 5-10 minutes of question answer session. So I think we will move to the question answer session before going to Samudga. Vaidya Nilesh.
Yes, sir. We can cover it in the next session.
Yeah, sorry that I thought of completing it today, but I think we may require one more session for Aushadha Kala and some important things which we have to discuss along with the concept of Aushadha Kala. So I think we will put it in our next session.
Yes, sir. Sure. As we have to understand it completely, so we
Yes.
will not rush through the these things.
Exactly.
We will take a few questions, sir. Sir, already there is one question. Why is Sthaulyavat of Pakvashe has importance?
Okay,
in
fine. I
Sthaulya,
think
we find more hunger in patients. If they don't have more hunger, can we interpret that Vayu is proper? Sir,
okay. I think there are two questions from the same person.
Yes, just a moment. I'll just mute you just unmute yourself. Yes, sir. You can. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the question is, why in Sthaulya Vada of Pakvashya important? As I told earlier, the entire body is a system where some sort of a balance of opposites is maintained, balance of duals. Say Ushna is always balanced by Sita, Ruksha is always balanced by Snigdha. That sort of an balance of duals. That is the importance of the system called body. So in Sandarpana Janya Vikaras, the balance is broken. Sandarpana Janya Vikaras, those gunas which are labeled as Saumya, they go beyond the limits. And those which are mentioned as Agneya, they run short of what is required. That is this picture. And in terms of gunas, it may be precisely mentioned as Snigdhada increases and Rukshada fails to control it. And Rukshada is predominantly or primarily focused in the Pakvashya, in the Apanasthana, the Kendra Sthana of Vayu. And Snigdhada is focused in the Uras, the Kendra Sthana of Shleshma. So only while understanding the Aushadha Kalas properly, where you are going to give this Abhakta Aushadha, it is mentioned that this is good for establishing this Vayu function. While explaining the Pragbhaktam, he clearly mentions that Pragbhaktam तद् अपानानिलविकृतौ अधःकायस्य बलाधानार्थम् and krishikaranartham. So the Pragbhakta Aushadha precisely targets the Pakvashaya and related organs and related doshas. So obviously the dosha becomes Vayu. So for making some precise manipulation on the Vayu in its base seat, you are going to work with Pragbhakta Aushadha. Pragbhakta Aushadha makes the Vayu proper. And the next indication for Pragbhakta Aushadhagala is Krishikaranartham. So that indirectly tells us that if the Vayu in the Pakvashaya is proper, functioning normally, it will control the functioning of Shleshma in the body. When the Vayu is proper, it will control the functioning of the Shleshma properly. That means when the Rukshada is regulated properly, the Rukshada in turn will control the Snigdhata in the body. So when the Rukshada is working properly, the chance of bringing Sthaulya in is almost nil. So in Sthula Chikitsa, if you are supposed to bring Krishikarana, you have to focus on the status of Vayu as well, especially in Pakvashaya. So they are that shows the interconnectedness of the duals, Dvaividhyam. That is why we have got a chapter itself called Dvividhobakramaniya. Ultimately, all treatments are coming under two heads: Dvividhobakramam, Sandarpanam or Apatarpanam. The story is about this sort of an interconnected or interregulatory mechanism between the duals. So I hope that is answered. And in Sthaulya, we find more hunger in patients. If they don't have more hunger, can we interpret that the Vayu is proper? Yeah, that could be a way of interpreting it. In Sthula Chikitsa, it is interestingly told that nahi sthulasya bheshajam karsyameva varam staulyad nahi sthulasya bheshajam brahmanam langhalam valam adimedo agni vadajit. Adimedo agni vadajit. Why vadajit is there? This is the reason. Otherwise, vada has nothing to do with the sthula. You are not supposed to control vayu in sthula because it has nothing to do with the brahmana. When you are addressing a brahmhita stage, why should you focus on vayu? This is the reason. So the role of vayu in the pakvashaya is going to be very crucial in defining the situation, the kalam of sthaulya. So you have mentioned it rightly. If you can assess it in some way or the other, and you have given one example, okay, you have the no more hunger, excessive hunger, that may be an indication of a controlled vayu, and you are going in the right way in the treatment of staulyam. Right.
Okay, sir. The next question: what is the difference between Antarabhakta and Anannakal?
Yeah, Antarabhaktam is what we explained earlier. In Antarabhaktam, you are giving food in the morning and wait for its digestion. By midday, you are giving medicine. Then wait for the medicine to digest, and once it is digested in the evening, you are again giving bhakshana. That means ahara. Whereas, what was the other thing which is asked? Ananna. Ananna, you are giving the medicine in empty stomach when the kabhodreka kala is gone, and you are doing nothing else. When the aushadha is jirna, you are giving ahara. So there is no comparison at all. Okay, I hope it is clear. And if you go through the text, it is very clear. It is very direct explanation.
Oh, okay, sir. The next question: 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. is Kapha Vriddhi Kal, so medicine can be given at that time.
Whether medicine can be given at that time or not.
At that time. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
6 a.m., 6 p.m. 6 a.m., 6 p.m. is not a standard. Say, for example, if we are giving the 6 a.m., 6 p.m. medicine in even different ritus, the situation will be different, isn't it? Say, in Rutucharya, there is one situation where it is told like in Hemandam, I think, Pradareva Bubukshitaha. So you are going to be very hungry. That means the kapha is not that potent in the morning itself. So you may be able to give the medicine in the morning itself. Whereas in some other ritu, say for example in Varsham, Agni Dushti is very prominent. Kabha Dushti is very prominent. So if you are not very particular about assessing the status of the kabha in the kosta, you may go wrong. Even if you have prescribed the best medicine according to the Samprapti, just because the Aushadha Kala is faulty, you may go wrong. So that is a possibility. So what I suggest is don't make these sort of 6 a.m., 6 p.m. standard formats for prescribing. Instead, every time look for the patient's kosta, agni, and the ritu in which you are going to to give the medicine, and the particular situation, particular stage of the disease in which you are intervening. So these are going to be more crucial than about the time shown by the clock.
Okay,
Right.
sir. Yes. The next question, sir, please more light on Sabhakta Aushadha Kal in terms of Anna Sadhita and Anna Samalodita.
Yeah, there are two possibilities. Anna Sadhita and Anna Samalodita are two possibilities. Sometimes you may be able to make recipes in which the medicine also can be a part in the basic stuff itself. Say for example, you are making dosa. You can put some of the medicine which you are planning to as part of the batter itself. So in disguise, the medicine will get into the patient. So that depends on the situation. Whereas sometimes you will find, say for example, in Arsha Chikitsa or in any situation where Agni Mandyam is a classical picture, you will be shown to have medicines which are made in the form of some curry. Sometimes takra is given in the form of curry. Achanya Anala Sambannani, made out of takra. So that is, you are adding it later, not along with the medicine, but after the preparation. So there are many conditions. I think if you can look into the takra prayoga in Arshas, you will find many examples of this sort. Sometimes the medicine is made along with the food, like takrayavagu or takrapeya. Here these things are made along with the food. Whereas there are many situations you will find. I will give you one example. Just wait. If I can locate one of the situations from the Arshas Chikitsa, I shall try to read out. Yeah, the most things are in Arshas Atisaram type of situations. Maybe in the next class I can come up with a few classical examples where this Anna Alodida is made and later mixing with the anna is anna sabhakta anna samskrita aushadha is also explained. Right now I'm not finding any classical which I have kept in mind. I think I will come in the next class. In our next session I will give you few examples. Pitta grahanyam tatpeyam.
Sir, I think in Grahani we can find such
Yeah, in
example.
grahani also, yeah, grahani also there are many situations where this sort of sabhakta anna prayoga. I will identify a few good examples from Ashtanga Hridaya. In our next session I will come up, or if somebody else remembers they can point it out. Arshasa, Atisara and Grahani. In these three situations you will find okay. I think we need not spend excessive time on it. I'll give you the examples in our next session. Okay. Let us move to the next question, please.
Yes.
Nilesh.
Yes. Yes. What is
Even
the
if I
alternative?
find it before our concluding this session, I will explain. Yeah, this one. Say for example, this ghalam preparations. Kalko villusaladunam tilakalkascha talsamaha dadhana sarvamla sasneha ghalo handi pravahikam. So here this ghalam is used along with the, it is prepared separately but later mixed with the annam. So that is one example of mixing the medicine later with the food. Then the aparajita ghalam, which is again explained in this pravahika, that is also a good example for this medicine prepared and then mixed with the food. In the yavagus explained in the jara, they are all classical examples. That in jara chikitsa we find lot of yavagus, no? For example, praglajapeyam sujaram sashundi dhanya pippalim. So here we are preparing the peya, lajapeya, but it is made along with the medicine. Sashundi dhanya pippalim lajapeyam. So here we are finding the preparation of the food along with the medicine added to it at the time of preparation itself. Whereas the other one, the ghalam, aparajita ghalam or other ghalam, all those are prepared separately but later mixed with the food at the time of intake. There are many examples. I think if you make a survey on this Ashtanga Hridayam itself, which is supposed to be very brief, you will find many things. And interestingly, at one point in Ashtanga Hridayam Vyakhyanam, one Peyadishu cha Dravya Pramanadikam Purvoktam Supashastradibhyo Avagandavyam. So a branch called Supashastram itself is mentioned. Supashastram, where this making of soups are going to be the main subject. Okay, let's continue.
Yes. The next question is, what is the alternative of preserved kashayam due to unavailability?
Yeah, that is a big challenge. That's a big challenge. What I use personally is I'm using two things, two methods. Number one is to you go for Sukshma Churna. Of course, it is not the classical way of addressing the issue, but what we practice is we prepare Sukshma Churna, fine powder of these kashayas. Especially this is mainly this is an issue with kashayam. So we prepare Sukshma Churna, and from this Sukshma Churna we use kashayam in a modified manner. That means 1 teaspoon, 5 grams of this Sukshma Churna boiled in 300 ml of water, that means 1.5 glasses of water, and reduced to 150 ml, half. So the procedure is very simple. Just boiling 1.5 glasses of water to 3/4 of a glass, which is practically feasible even in an urban life. And you are getting fresh kashayam without any preservative. That is one option. 5 grams of powder in 300 milliliters of water, boiled in somewhat moderate flames and reduced to 150 ml. This is the kashayam for one time. If it is a child, you can make the same, give the same kashayam in 2 split doses, whatever time you prefer to. So this is one way in which we try to overcome this crisis. Another option is, my guru used to have a different way of approaching this. Of course, the Sukshma Churnam as well. He used to give kashayams, prepared kashayams, preserved kashayams, along with the arishta asavas, arishtas and asavas. Here in Kerala, we get 200 milliliters as standard packing of kashayam, 450 milliliters of arishtam and asavam standard. So we used to mix these two bottles together. Arishtam and asavam, of course, I know that many pharmacies are manipulating even the preparation of arishtam and asavam, but I forget it. As a standard, you do not need any extra preservation for arishtam and asavam. So you mix 200 milliliters of kashayam with 450 milliliters of arishtam or asavam, which will match, which will go together with each other. And from that mixture, so the quantity of preservative is very minimal now, because say for example, in 200 milliliters of the kashayam, you add, as an example, just 2 grams of the preservative. So in 200 milliliters, 2 grams. Now we have mixed it with 450 ml of arishtam. Now the total is 650 ml. In 650 ml, there is only 2 grams of preservative. And from this mixture, we used to give for an adult 30 milliliters, adding 30 milliliters of boiled cool water, Shruta Jalam. So you are giving 60 milliliters of the as a standard dose, 30 milli medicine and 30 milli water. So practically the amount of preservative is negligibly small, and there are many advantages as well. Number one, this combination becomes more palatable. Number two, this combination becomes more laghu. Number three, this combination is having Sukshma Guna more, so it can have better reach in the Srotas, and this gives some sort of a Vyavayi Guna, which is a quality of Madhya. So even for the standard Kashaya, we are adding some Vyavayi Guna, so the action is faster. And number four, this combination is less expensive, because one bottle of 200 ml kashayam as a rule may cost 100 rupees, whereas this arishtam will be costing somewhere around maybe 60 to 75 or something like that. With one bottle of kashayam and one bottle of arishtam, you will be able to give 13 days minimum, sometimes even more than that, according to the dose you prescribe. So together, the cost, the 14 days or 13 days of kashayam alone and the 13 days of this kashayam arishtam combination makes this arishtam combination much less expensive. So that sort of advantages are there. There are many points popping out in the comment box, so everybody can have their own. One point is kashayam, we give packets of 20 grams of I don't understand the word, 2 cups of water and prepare half cup of quad and use the same residue for a second dose. Okay, yeah, these are all good methods. There can be n number. If we work together and share the ideas between us, I think we can, at one point we can avoid this preservatives in our clinical practice. Of course, it may not be sounding good for the industry, but for the patients as well as for the Vaidyas, they are going to be the best option. Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir. The next question about our today's session is, if we are giving Aushadha at Sabhakta, whether it affects its gunas, means the gunas of Aushadha.
You have to make adjustments accordingly, because Sabhakta is given in such situations where you have got this Aruchi or Sukumara, Bala, or that sort of situations are what you are going to address. So accordingly, you have to make, sometimes say you may be able to give 3 times the medicine with all the 3 meals. Sometimes you may be able to give 1 or 2 medicines in drink forms. So accordingly, you have to cover up these sort of shortcomings if at all you feel like that. No other options. Okay.
Okay, sir. The next question, sir. Apan Karya is Nishkar
Nishkramana.
Nishkarmana, but still Aushadakal is Ananna. Will it not help for Anuloman if given after food and at night?
Actually, there is some misunderstanding in the question itself. In Apana, the Aushadhakala is not Ananna, but Pragbhakta. That means you give the medicine followed by food. That is the Apana, isn't it? That is the Aushadhakala for Apana. Ananna is Abhakta, which is not specified for any particular Vayu, but more care is taken about the status of the Amashaya Srotas and the status of the Rogi in terms of his Bala. It is an Adivirya Aushadha Prayoga, which you may use for any purpose, But specifically for Apana, it is advised to give in Pragbhakta Kala. So I think there is some misunderstanding in the concept. I think when it is cleared, everything will be cleared. Yeah, the Vaidya Komal has cleared that word which I was not familiar with. Sorry for that. Thank you for clarifying.
Yes, sir. Here in means she is my colleague only, and we give 20 gram butter pouches.
Okay.
To patients.
Of crushed raw medicines.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Very good. Excellent. That is the best way of doing it. No doubt. That is the best way of doing it. We very good.
Try to give it in Quath and Niquath like that.
Okay.
Same medicine 2 times.
Yes. This is how we do it here in Pune. Excellent. I appreciate that effort. And I think when you have a handful of Vaidyas together, even the medicines can even be shared, no problem. You need not put your effort alone to prepare everything in your center. If one Vaidya is focusing on maybe 5 types, the other Vaidya on another 5, you can share. So the workload is also shared. Excellent.
Yes,
there is
sir,
one I think that Vaidya Madhuri has, I meant if given after food, will it not help? But it is not observed like that. If it is given after food, as I told earlier, the medicine tends to focus more on this Urdhva or the Purvakaya, the upper part of the Andaradhi, and their focus will be Shleshma Vigaras and Vyanavayu and Udanavayu. That may be because of the spread of the Rasavaha Srotas in such a way, and also the smartness of the Agni. The other day I was making a discussion on this point. Agni is so smart. Thanks for that. Thanks for that.
Yes, sir. Still more questions are popping up. It's
You
9 o'clock.
compile them and share later.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes, sir.
happy that we have got so many questions in Aushadhagala, because that shows the curiosity of the practicing Vaidyas, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Very good. I hope at least I have succeeded in making the minds upset, so that when they start prescribing next, definitely they will be thinking something about whether this is the